Adrienne Ponce live in the DME studio.
How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
DME. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Ponce.
My name is Adrienne Ponce and I'm with eXp Realty. I've been a licensed contractor for approximately 7 years, and I have worked primarily on distressed properties for banks, and we also work with investors and homeowners and property management companies as well, but primarily we worked with distressed properties for banks. That's how I originally got into the housing industry. I originally started out in Toledo, Ohio, doing hazard claims for a large mortgage field service client, and I really liked what we were doing, so we decided to expand to Michigan. We ended up getting a few clients and zones in Michigan, and we ended up doing property preservation as well, which is another service line. So we started out doing hazard claims, which is insurance scopes, then we started doing property preservation, and then eventually we ended up doing seasonal work. And as the volume of the work that we were doing grew, we ended up expanding to Miami, Florida. We got a couple zones and a couple clients down there, and then eventually we ended up in San Antonio, Texas, doing the same thing, property preservation, hazard claims for mortgage field service clients primarily. And then we ended up in Cleveland, Ohio. So we worked multiple states and multiple areas doing that. And eventually, the business grew. It was doing quite well. I really enjoyed what we were doing, and we were helping the banks to make their houses marketable and ready to be sold. So eventually I ended up partnering up with a broker and switching, because originally my office was in Toledo, Ohio, and I really had thought when I first started doing the hazard claims in Toledo, Ohio, that I would end up eventually moving there because we were really busy at first. But instead of that happening, we were more busy in the Detroit area, so it made more sense for me to get an office in Detroit. So I partnered up with a broker in Detroit, and we started doing some projects together, mainly, for private clients, not mortgage field service clients, but just private clients. And eventually I decided that it made sense for me to get my real estate sales license. One, because I'm a woman in a male-dominated industry. Most contractors are men. And whenever people meet me, they never think I'm a contractor. They always thought, oh, hey, when I met you, I thought you were a realtor. So I started talking to my business partner about it, and he said, oh, I think that's a really great idea, Adrienne. I think you would do well with that. So I ended up getting my real estate sales license, and right as I was getting my real estate sales license, he had met some people who were affiliated with eXp, and he started telling me about it. He's like, Adrienne, I'm thinking about switching the brokerage over to eXp, and he sent me a few videos from YouTube on eXp, because I had never heard of it. I had heard of it, but I hadn't heard of it. So I watched the videos, and the main video that struck out to me, that really stood out, was the one with Glenn Sanford and Grant Cardone, where they talked about how they partnered up and just all of the great things that they were bringing to the table with eXp, their expansion, not just in the United States, but globally in other countries. They are in the UK, they're in Canada. So as I started to educate myself and learn a little bit more about it, I got intrigued. I was like, wow, this is a really good opportunity. And then we watched a presentation from some people who were already with eXp. And as soon as they started talking about the stock options and the ability to make residual income, passive income, and profit sharing, I was sold. So I immediately signed up, and the rest is history, basically.
Okay, so I mean, you did explain very well why you chose eXp. How about real estate in general? What made you get into that specifically?
Well, I had worked with a licensed contractor in his office for 5 years. And then, as you know, I started bartending and I worked for 3 years doing bartending, which was a really super fun job. Love, love, love bartending. It's awesome and amazing, and you meet a lot of amazing people, and it's fun. But after about 3 years, I said to myself, okay, I do have an MBA. I do have this experience with working for a licensed contractor, and he was like a third generation contractor, so he's like super serious. This guy was like so talented he could write a blueprint on the back of a napkin. Like, that's how talented he was as a contractor. So I got an opportunity to work with another lady I knew who was experienced in property preservation. And she was like, hey, I got this opportunity. She started telling me about it. And I thought, wow, I kind of do have a background working in the office with a licensed contractor. So I decided to take a leap of faith and left the bartending job and ended up, like I said, we started out in Toledo doing hazard claims. And it really, to me, it was like God's divine intervention, because opportunities just kept coming, just kept flowing, doors kept opening. I kept getting mentored by really awesome people
Mm-hmm.
who encouraged me to get my residential builder's license, which I eventually did get in 2017. And so it kind of evolved from working on the bank-owned properties. Then I got opportunities to do a couple commercial projects, which was fun and a good experience. And actually a realtor that I was friends with gave me the opportunity to do my first commercial projects. And he even said, he's like, you know what, I think you would be good at doing real estate. So the seed had been planted, and for me, I love contracting work. I love, seeing a house, go from ashy to classy and really turn into something nice where somebody could actually live there with their family. But I also felt like getting my real estate sales license would just be another tool in my toolbox, because as you know, I do have my lead abatement contractor's license. I've got my OSHA 10. I've got my asbestos abatement contractor's license. So it's just another thing to add to my toolbox to enhance my skill sets and provide additional opportunities for myself and my team.
Okay. What do people gain when joining with you?
People gain my experience as a contractor, and I already have a team in place. We work primarily in Ohio, Michigan, Florida, and Texas. We actually are expanding a little bit, doing a little bit of North Carolina and Alabama. So you get my experience as a contractor, and I do have a really good eye for detail. When we go into the houses, we're able to really pick everything out that's going to kind of stand out. And also, I'm extremely organized. Like I said, I already have a team in place. We have multiple contractors that work the field. We have office staff. I have a virtual assistant, and I have several different ways that I'm generating leads and, introducing myself to clients and really trying to kick the real estate side of things off.
Okay.
In addition to that as well, I'm business partners with a broker, and he's been in real estate for 20 years. And like when he came into real estate, that was before the age of the internet. So he learned everything hands-on. And one of the things that he told me that really kind of stood out to me was like, wow, Adrienne, right now, everything is so easy because like with eXp, we've got all the online trainings. We can go into the world. You can pretty much network with people all over the world. Whereas when he first started, everything was a lot different. Like you could only really do deals with people inside of your own brokerage locally. But with eXp, if you know somebody in another state or even in another country, you could network with that person and potentially do a deal with that person and make money off the deal. Okay. There's multiple ways for you to make money off of deals, and there's multiple ways for you to, get more income off of the deals, and also multiple ways for you to make money outside of just working with buyers and sellers. Another good point is that We do have someone on our team who is, she's been in the business for like 15 years and she worked as a broker's assistant. So she knows everything about transaction coordination. And actually, she's like my secret weapon because if I don't know something, I always ask her and usually she knows the answer. For example, I was trying to figure out an off-market property, how to figure out how to see who owned the property, and we went into Real Comp and she showed me like real quick, like, okay, you go here, you look at this, and it was really cool because she already pretty much knew how to do it, and it really helps me out as well.
Would you say having a good mentor is key in something like this?
I think having a good mentor and a good team. I have several people who are mentoring me. One lady who was with the brokerage but left, but she's been amazing. I actually reached out to her yesterday because I needed a service to help a client who had damaged credit, like a credit repair service. Reached out to her and she referred me to somebody, and then she actually referred me to set me up with an accountability partner. My accountability partner was like, oh yeah, I know somebody. So one of the things that I really like about just real estate in general and just being in business in general is it's not what you know, it's who you know. So like if you have a good network of people, you're able to figure things out and you're able to really solve problems pretty quickly.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, definitely. So how can people get a hold of you if they're interested? Everything sounds so exciting.
People can get a hold of me on my website, which is Adrienne Poncerealty at eXp. Okay. They can reach me on Instagram, and they can also set up a one-on-one call with me to discuss eXp. I have a lot of videos and just a lot of information that I would like to share, and I think that once people really learn the benefits of eXp, they would really be impressed and definitely at least entertain the idea and give it some good thought.
And any message to people who might think it, like, who are thinking about it, but some people are very hesitant to get into things, and just something to get them just to jump in.
I think the best advice would be to, if you have an interest in something, to educate yourself. Right. There's so much information on YouTube. There's a lot of videos. Right. And before I even joined, I watched a lot of YouTube videos and I talked with several people to get an idea of why they thought that this was the best brokerage for them. And of course, I've interviewed with other brokerages as well. Right. Even after I joined eXp, I've interviewed with several brokerages, and several. Okay. Well, just because I like to know what everybody is offering, I like to know the competition, I like to be able to compare and contrast, and I just like to be in the know and have the information. That way, if I'm talking with someone who's from this brokerage or that brokerage, then I kind of know, like, okay, these are the percentages here. And that's also another big thing too, is the percentages on the deals. It's like 80-20, and then when you cap, you basically only have to pay a transaction fee. So you're making a lot more money that way if you're doing high volume and doing a lot of sales. Where with some brokerages, you can never cap. It's just always you have to pay that percentage. So you have to just think about what's important to you. What's your overall goal? Do you want to sell real estate for the rest of your life, or do you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor and live a life where you're free to do what you want, when you want, anytime you want? I mean, the contracting business has definitely afforded me to live a really amazing lifestyle, but I think that the real estate will just enhance it 1,000 times over. Because if I can take a company that I just started from scratch, from nothing, and build it up to what I've built it up to. We've got 3 sister companies, we've got crews in multiple states, and we're constantly expanding, and we've got contacts in like 13 states. The sky is the limit.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, that's what you guys got to do. Just do your due diligence, and all the information's out there.
And if you think that you're interested in joining eXp, go ahead and hit the link below and set up an appointment. and you and I can talk one-on-one, and we can see if it's a good fit for you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.